Okay. People need to stop blaming millennials for everything that goes wrong or every bullshit law that gets made. Stop blaming millennials. I mean, just look at the videos online of the stupid shit, transgender this and that. We're talking people from like 15 to 25 that are running this stuff, and then there's all of a sudden like this big huge gap from like 25 to 40-ish, and then there's all this people from like 40 to 50 that are jumping in, like all this stuff, all these stupid things. Everybody's going for it, of every age group. It isn't just millennials. It's millennials that are doing it. Well, no, it's not. I am a millennial. I support the Second Amendment. I support all the constitutional laws. I support the Constitution itself. I don't think that the government has the right to impose all these restrictions on gun rights and whatnot. The NFA and shit like that. I don't believe in the transgender bathroom things. I don't believe in that. I don't support socialism or communism or any of that shit. I support Republicans. That is where I stand. I don't support any of the shit that they're throwing out there of, we gotta ban this, we gotta ban that, we gotta make a law about this, a law about that. Let people be people. Let people do and say what they want to do and say. I mean, yeah, murder's wrong. Okay, that's a given. You can't make a million laws that say murder is illegal and then say, well, this guy murdered somebody, we have to make a law about it. It doesn't work. It's already against the law to kill somebody. Somebody kills somebody with a firearm. Well, we got to ban that specific firearm or that type of bullet or, that action. We have to stop that action. It doesn't work like that. Somebody has to draw a line in the sand and say, hey, right here, past this, cut the fuck out. I mean, shit, here where I live, I looked up some of the state laws and whatnot, and there are 17 laws that say it is against the law to kill somebody with a firearm. They section it off into different types of killings, like, okay, burglary. If you burglarize somebody's house and you kill them with a firearm, then it's one thing. And then if you rob a store and you kill somebody with a firearm, it's another thing. If you are walking down the street and you try to rob somebody that's walking down the street, that is a completely separate type of murder. Why can't it just be, one law that says it? It makes no sense to have all these extra laws. And then they're like, okay, this state can have these regulations, this state can have this regulation, whatever. Regulations like state to state. If I live in Arizona, my driver's license should be my constitutional grounds. If I go to, Nebraska or Maine or Wisconsin or something, my Wisconsin or my Arizona ID should be good enough for open carry, concealed carry, because those are the laws of the lands that I am from. That should be the thing. It should be national reciprocity. No more of this. Well, you gotta get a permit that's good in this state and that state, and then you have to go through another training course for somebody else that trains for these other states that are good for this. Because as it sits right now, you'd have to get, I think it's either 3 or 4 permits to be good in all 50 states. But even then, it's a bitch to get the last one, because you have to go through California compliance. And that California compliance is you have to prove that your life is in imminent danger at all times. And that's bullshit. I just don't see it. I'm a millennial, but I'm not for banning ARs. I'm not for banning this, banning that. Let people be people. We're supposed to be the free country, the country of the free, the land of the free, the home of the brave. But every goddamn day, Congress or a state passes umpteen hundred laws about stupid shit, constantly passing more and more laws, more and more regulations. It just came down that the ATF's ban on bump stocks was unconstitutional, and therefore it was an illegal law because they, as a government agency, cannot pass law. The ATF is just an agency, and they passed a law when they don't have the authority or power to do so. That has to go through Congress. Congress has to do that. And they can't do that without going through the president. The law, therefore, does not exist and cannot be upheld. Yet all these people went through and deleted or destroyed or turned in their bump stocks because the government told them that they were illegal, even though they weren't. I support the removal of the NFA. I support legalizing suppressors or silencers, whatever you want to call them. I support that because, you're attaching a suppressor to, say, a pistol. They say, well, suppressors are going to increase crime and, people aren't going to be able to hear guns going off. They only lower it to a non-painful threshold. The average firearm, I think they were talking like a between a 40 and 45 with a suppressor on it, like a really top of the line suppressor. It still bumps it down to right around the level of a jackhammer. Anybody that's ever driven through construction knows what a jackhammer sounds like. Now, it's still painful, but it's still manageable. Now, they say, well, somebody's going to commit crimes with that because now it would be legal to own one then. No. Think about it. You're adding a 6 to 8 inch tube about yay big around to the front of your pistol. It's going to be a bitch to freaking conceal. And, people are going to notice that. It's good for hunting because then you're not scaring the other animals around. You're not spooking people, a mile away. You're not causing issues out there. You're not disturbing anybody. And suppressors, if you have a gun range just on the outskirts of town and everybody there is using suppressors, the sound's going to be much lower than without it. I support the government as an entirety, but their powers are and should be limited. They don't have ultimate power because the Constitution says that they don't. They think that they can control people, but they are elected officials. And if they're doing something that they should not be doing, then they should be voted out. And the government really needs to crack down and actually follow the laws. I mean, if they stopped doing all these wheeling and dealing things, the attorneys, and actually punished people, then there would be a lot less criminals on the street. There would be a lot less return criminals and repeat offenders. We got people here in town busted with $50,000 in heroin, out after 7 days with a fine. and probation or parole or whatever. Then you got people that have been arrested for attempted murder, possession of an illegal firearm, stolen firearm, driving with no insurance, no registration, no driver's license, and the car's not registered to them. Yeah. This guy did it 5 months in a row. 5 months in a row. Did the exact same thing. Yet, he's still out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up Bullhead City Lowe's, Lowe's Home Improvement, Bullhead City Lowe's shooting, and you'll see that guy has been arrested 5 times for that exact same thing, and it's ridiculous. I mean, they keep dealing. Oh yeah, he gave up 4 criminals, but those 4 criminals only go to jail for a month and then they're out. No more deals. No more cutting the deals. Punish the person. If it's 2 to 5 years in prison, do 2 to 5 years. Judge 2 to 5 years. 5 years maximum. Good behavior, 2 years. Get arrested, and it's six months in jail. They're doing 6 months. They get arrested, and it's 10 years in jail. They're doing 10 years. No more deals. No more, well, if you flip on these 7 people, then we'll give you, 2 weeks in jail. That's it. Or we'll cut it down to a fine. No more deals. Just no more. You cut out all this wheeling and dealing shit. The crime will drop a lot because you won't have repeat offenders. You got guys that are getting arrested 6-7 times a week, and people are like, "Yeah, that's just how it is." No, it's not how it is. Just fucking stop.